it's actually on the screen yet.
Oh, it says it. It just said it up there.
Perfect. Yeah, you can see it up there as well, yeah?
Mm.
Cool. And I'm just checking on my Facebook to see if we're live on there yet. And we are, yes. Welcome to the first ever online Bring Your Own Bar.
Woo! Yeah. Women in my house. Women in my house.
This show is brought to you in part by Brent's 2320 London Borough of Culture.
Thank you, Brent.
And their Culture Fund. And we normally run a show at Box Park Wembley. Now, unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, we haven't been able to provide that physical show that we normally do. However, we've tried to bring the best of what we normally do, which is to bring as many open mic artists on to the stage to be able to share their lyrical fire with us. And then we also have a headliner today who isn't with us on the show just yet, but is going to be signing on anytime soon. And that person is Solomon Adams. If you don't know who Solomon Adams is, he is a gentleman, he is a legend, he is a DJ, and he is also a bad man poet, as far as I'm concerned as well. But until then, we do have a massive open mic lineup for you. And the first person actually hasn't logged in yet, so I think we're going to have to move on to the second person. You know how these things go. Now, the first person to go on is going to be Paris Williams.
Woo! Girl. Woo! Hey guys.
Cool. I'm going to mute everyone first, and then I'm going to put you back on. Cool. Karis, sorry, we can't hear you.
Karis needs to unmute herself.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, this is a poem I wrote a couple of years ago. It's kind of like a story. It's called Eyes Closed. Some people live with their eyes closed. We all sleep, but some people never really wake up. Some people are born with their eyes held open by matchsticks as the sun burns their pupils and the birds peck out their light. Some people are born with their eyelids as heavy as gold as they droop at any moment of clarity, blinking out alternate realities, difference and change. Some people refuse to keep their eyes open, scared of what they might see, whilst others try to open their eyes but simply don't know how to see. They sleepwalk around, seemingly awake, but their vision is tarred by a dreamlike state. Some people were never allowed to close their eyes. So their vision of life is a whirlwind of experience, a roller coaster of sights, a deep cave of darkness, an intense explosion of lights that attacks the senses, causing their eyelashes to flutter tirelessly, yet never once closing for long enough to stop. A person who knows this experience all too well sits perched on their seat with their deep brown eyes wide open. They are tired. Sometimes they feel they have seen too much. They want to not care. They want to forget. But next to them, a round-bodied soul with hair as silver as armor sits silently, breathing deeply and rhythmically, the sound of a peaceful slumber. Their head hangs heavy on their chest with their eyes glued shut, as if someone has taken the time to delicately weave and sew the two lids together. The first person shakes them, hoping they may switch places, hoping that they can take the night shift this time, hoping they can close their eyes just for a second, because that would be so nice, but the person doesn't budge, too deeply comfortable where they are sat to even feel the shudders and shakes of the person next to them. So the person starts to shout at the top of their lungs. They think that has to wake them up, force them awake. They thought that the pain in their voice was too intense to not be taken on board, but the problem was that the person seated didn't know pain, not well enough. They knew a game and they knew how to play it. If they kept their eyes shut, how could they ever face the blame? For who could expect them to know a world that was so far from their own, one they didn't know existed because they'd never been shown. So they kept their eyes shut, and soon others followed, and other measures were taken to keep things closed. Walls were created, fences were made, flower borders became international borders, all played a part in the game to keep reality out of the dream, to keep their eyelids laced with gold, to stop the rest of the world from being seen. But what they didn't realize was that the dream world was a hopeless ideology, vulnerable to being torn apart. And soon reality began to knock on the door, and after being pushed away so many times before, their knocks became aggressive, and this scared the shut eyes. So they told the rest of the dream world that they had to keep their eyes, the people with their eyes open were maniacs. They wanted to cause them pain. To keep their eyes closed was the only way they could safely remain. So the people with their eyes open fought harder and harder to break down the dream, and be allowed in, but the Shiites didn't like it because then they couldn't win. If the dream world became too crowded, they would have to have much less. And when you're accustomed to privilege, equality feels like you're being oppressed. They don't understand why they should have to sacrifice their marshmallow life to make room for those who rose in the darkness. But what they refused to understand was that it was their brightly colored marshmallow living that created darkness on the other side. It was their gold-coated eyelids that forced those living across the fence to open up their eyes. It was the dream world that caused the birds to peck the eyes of the Lord who land of the living. And in order to continue receiving, to avoid giving, they caused intense explosion on the outside. The truth of the matter is, some people are born blind and still manage to see things clearer than those with the privilege of sight. Some people have never enjoyed the taste of a marshmallow, not even a bite, but still know how to do things right. And so these words traveled across the barrier of the two worlds. You may keep your eyes closed, but one day they'll be forced open, and boy, will the fire burn bright.
Woo! Yes.
That was beautiful.
Nice.
Nice. Good work.
Whoa.
Karis, I saw you first time at Mind Over Matter a while back as well. And I've seen you again on the internet quite a few times. You are one of the hardest working poets out there as well, so really well done. It's a blessing to connect with you as well.
All
right, well done. No,
Karis, please.
Should we mute ourselves?
No, I did want another round of applause for Karis.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. Zoom so awkward. Love you.
This is why I love being online as well, because actually, when you make a mistake, the rest of the world can see it. I absolutely love that. I haven't introduced myself, have I? In all my nervousness and wanting to get on stage or to get this on live myself. So I'm soft-spoken. I am 1/3 of BYOB poetry. In fact, I'd say a quarter of it as well, actually, because we include Solomon Adams within that family as well, who is our DJ and is our headliner for tonight. I am a poet who started off about a year ago, more or less.
We got crazy noise again going on. Crazy
yeah,
noise.
We do. So I'm just going to mute everyone, actually.
Yeah.
There we are. Right, yeah. So I started doing poetry about a year ago. And through that, through just doing poetry and going on stage, I just found that there were lots of topics that I wanted to talk about myself, but then also found myself going to poetry events all over London, but not necessarily in Northwest London. And that's where the idea for BYOB came together. And we approached Box Park Wembley. They were lovely enough to give us the venue to use. And ever since then, we've gone on from strength to strength. And speaking of strength to strength, someone who I saw last June for the first time, last July for the first time, he is a musical maverick. When I say musical maverick, he is a man who plays the guitar like no other person I've heard. Can we please give it up for the one, the only Tish Kotadama?
Love you! All the love, all the love, all the love, all the love. Swimming around, love, swimming around, all of you. Yeah.
No one plays the guitar like you, bro.
No one does. No one does. Floor's yours.
Say what? Oh, me. Okay, cool. Oh, shit. Okay, let me get my poem, innit?
He's coming back.
Great start as well. Right, so while we're waiting for...
That's okay.
Hey, soft spoken.
Yes.
I don't know if this is helpful for everyone. If you keep us all on mute, we can just press the space bar and that unmutes us temporarily. You don't have to do anything then. So like right now I'm just holding down my space. Right now I'm holding down my space bar to talk.
There we go.
And then
I'm not on the laptop though.
oh, okay. I don't know how it works for you. So
I'm also on the phone.
Okay, maybe there's a different button. So maybe this isn't useful.
There's a mute button on the bottom left.
There is, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right, Tish, whenever you're ready, you can unmute yourself and you can serenade us with your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
All right.
Woo, woo, woo.
Okay, cool. Thanks very much, guys. All right, here we go. This piece is called Legendary because I wrote it over Joey Badass's Legendary beat. All right, it goes. Laces untied, but I run. My trailer's catching fire. Mama, look how far we have come. Nowhere to go but higher. Many times I thought I was done, but then got realigned. Many times I saw what was won, just had to realize. So look into the palm of your hands, but don't miss the lines. Dive into the calm and expand, kiss your higher mind. Let love be the force that drives darkness out the door. No more hoarding negative thoughts that always lead to war. Because when I intertwine with myself and then fall out of love, I see the hand that writes my story doesn't always wear the velvet glove. Your vessel is a pen, your soul is ink, man. You were born to write. Liberate myself with the word, yeah, I think I might. But it's a damn shame to come so close to peace then turn away. Convenience don't make you a prophet when you've been burning days. I'm just a man trying to boil down his time, because no seconds, hours, minutes, months, or years can combine. My peace of mind unfolding lifetimes over. To reach my throne, I need to leave the sofa. And if the world ain't always what I thought it would be, I guess I'll take a second breath and understand what I see. That the wisest of men live through the darkest of times. They said those mountains in your future ain't the hardest to climb. They said there's trials ahead, but rest assured you'll be fine. We're all single strands on the dreadlocks of time. So if a man can be a band, then let the poets find their pens. Something that sticks with you throughout, yeah, that's what you call a friend. Because death ain't got a full stop, but just a comma at the end when the entire plot revolves around you playing pretend. As we're folding and weaving, constantly brought into being, process repeating as a method for subjective perceiving, stirring and sleeping, because we forget when we're actually dreaming. Just a feather on the shaman's hat, catch a meaning. So expose a man to lust and satisfy him for today. But teach that same man love to keep forever and a day. There's power in the little things. I'm speaking of the microcosm. As above, so below. There's no time that ever wasn't. Peace of mind unfolding lifetimes over. To reach my throne, I have to leave the sofa. And if the world ain't always what I thought it would be, I guess I take a second breath and understand that I see that everything is part of something bigger than itself. I guess when death comes to me, I should be glad that I felt all the love and compassion, the denial and satisfaction, and for a time being responsible for my own actions. I'm picking a path and stepping onto its platforms. And if you fall, it's okay. There's nothing you can't come back from. Just nurture your courage with all the waters of darkness, and never forget that the universe is your partner. Because if you pick the thoughts and you help them grow, that makes you the gardener. If your attitude is graphite, then your will would be the sharpener. The markings that we choose to make dictate what comes after. And just like every other time, it gets replaced by the masters. Thank you very much.
Woo, woo, woo. Woo. Yes. Loving you from afar. We loving you from afar.
Well done, Tish. Well done, Tish. Again, another poet who's just gone from strength to 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 strength. Well done again, Tish.
Holy
right.
Shit.
He's I think they Tish and Solomon are currently at the Hounslow Youth Centre, which is where you find Poetical Word is normally based or usually based. And quickly, just before I move on to the next person, Tish, do you know when Poetical Word is going to come back on?
It should be happening at the last Monday of this month, as usual. I think that's the 26th. Am I right? 26th?
27th.
27th, yeah.
And that's going to be on Instagram Live, is that correct?
Yeah, it should be, yeah.
Yes, please do, if you can, support them as much as possible. They did support me. They gave me my first ever headline slot over there at the Poetical Word again. So
yeah, that was awesome, man. That was awesome.
Thank you very much. One more time for Tish, please. All right, now moving on to the next poet. He's muted himself. He doesn't know he's coming on next, but he is the Gap-Tooth Warrior. He is an absolute legend in every regard. He's not only a poet, but he's also a badman songwriter and a badman poet, badman rapper as well, I should say. Could we please give it up for Terry the Seed?
Sow that seed, my brother. Sow that seed. Sow that seed. Come on.
What's going on? What's going on? Thank you very much, Mr. Soul. I'm back. Don't worry. It's only mute. It's nice and easy. I'm going to do a little bit. It's more of a rap today. I called it battles, but I don't know if I want to call it that, but we'll just go with it anyway. So I found myself in a pickle trying to get to the cheese. I had to pick all my stuff up and get back up off my knees. I had to dust myself off, but I really felt to dust. I was down. It felt like I was trying to drag a bus. I'm tempted to strive for the bus down, but my only goal in life is to earn my sons a crown. Wow, the gift and the curse. Sacrifice means you can't be the uni. There's more than one verse. I've had so many options like a PS4 controller, but I'm trying to keep it moving like my mum pushing a stroller. I've got to keep it turning like a roller. And you know the bars of being colder than a bear in the polar. Solar, I'm a child of the sun, but some still deny the purity of the undeniable one. To really understand, you have to really overstand. A smart man is a fool. He'll question where he stands. Think of this for a moment. You have 2 feet and you decide where you put them so that every step's unique. So any mistake made is really each to their own. And if you never learn from each one, you'll never grow. If you discovered this early, I'll tell you well played. I've been trying to grow, but there's no sunlight in the shade. I almost lost my mind. Now let me tell you why. I had a vision. I lived the same year 75 times. There's a lot I didn't know. My sanity was on the edge, but my life changed when I discovered no ledge. In that moment there, I made myself a pledge. An easy life ain't coming, you need strength. It's time to get wedge. Learn. I've always had to learn. I've always had to earn. I've always had to get what I deserve. I've always had to battle. It's always had to be me. Every great oak you see started out as a seed. It takes years to acquire the skills and knowledge of a scholar. I kept it close to my neck like a shirt with a collar. No one used to care, and now they all holler. Just because that I'm intelligent, don't mean I don't need dollar. I've seen a lot. There's plenty of age behind these eyes, and when my vision got blurry, I relied on my third eye. The ability to see and not know where I'm going is blind faith in my ability. That's how the seed is growing. I'm like none of these rappers, Spielberg type actors. Everybody knows someone who is handy with the clappers. I'm heavy with the bars, call it dense. So when you hear me spit, it's like we're camped out, intense. I'm transcending these barriers. The way the seed is murdering these words, call it assassination of characters, multifaceted, dealing with multiple factors. I'm turning through these pages and running through these chapters. I'm looking for my victory, but it's like I couldn't have it. Like cheeks in a sundress. Now I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna go for wrong course. The seed is growing by force. Call me a Big Mac. The secret's in my source. I'm the gap tooth warrior. I own all my insecurities. Now I make investments, all insecurities. Trust me, I used to be a player, but I had to save my mental state like United trying to keep the hair. I know where I've been. I won't lie about what I've seen. Manifesting my vision, reality of my dreams. Bars are in my blood. I've always written down my pain. Just ask any of my day ones who call me flame. I've got knowledge of myself. We were kings of the Nile. And now I know my truth. I will never be in denial. I'm an artist first, and I do it for the love. But to feed an empty belly, you're going to need more than love. That's it. Thank you.
Woo! Yes.
Yeah, silly with it. Oh my god, man.
Yes.
Oh, the levels had levels.
Yes.
The levels
So
had
good.
levels.
So good.
The levels had levels. The levels had
Really
levels.
relevant to now. Like, fuck yeah, we do need money too, the artists.
We're going to pretend that we didn't hear that last word there. Sorry, Amy. But yes.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. No problem. No problem. Yeah, well done again, Terry. Terry, again, someone who I just absolutely admire. I think the first time I saw you was Acapfella's 3P. And you absolutely smashed it there as well. So I've been following your progress as well. Keep it up, man. One more time for Terry the C, please.
Woo, woo, woo. Yes.
All right, so I'm currently now looking at the YouTube. Well, I'm looking at the YouTube stream, and I can see that Amaya the Alchemist is on there right now. Fist 11, Lily Valentine, Amaya the Alchemist again. Mind Over Matter is on. We have Noah Sadi on there. Thank you to everyone who is watching at the moment. Right, I hear that Twitch isn't working, so apologies for that. But we are still on Facebook and YouTube, as far as I can tell. Right, so moving swiftly on to the next poet. This poet is not just a poet. This poet is a wonderful human being. Someone who I met, I think, at Chocolate Poetry first time, but is actually more well known for what she does alongside Mind Over Matter. She is a psychotherapist, and I'm sure she'll tell you more about what she does and what she's currently doing with Mind Over Matter at the end of her poem. But could we please give it for the one, the only, Anna Sinsky?
Anna.
All right, sorry, Anna, I think you're gonna have to unmute yourself if you can.
Yeah, I think I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Anna, and I mostly do poetry about mental health, also about the environment quite a bit. And today I'll be doing a poem about an eating disorder. So this is a very personal poem to me that I personally found very healing writing this. You've lost weight. Oh my God, you're so skinny. I can see your bones. The three sentences that always sound like a compliment. even when your muscles are deflated, even when you know they don't meet it in a good way and these ideals are outdated, I love seeing my bones. My brain is helplessly wired to perceive these 6 signs as desired, and so I love seeing that thigh gap and go into a panic when I don't, diving right back down into the temptation to cut out carbs, though I won't. Because it's so effortless to slip right back to a place of extreme, somewhere off track, strictly controlled and so calculated, or a state that's even more complicated where I just can't get enough food. But the guilt sets in and nothing feels good because I'm way too aware of all the calories I just had, and that already makes me feel bloated and bad and more than ashamed because it feels like my hunger just can't be tamed. I remember always wondering how someone can have a cookie and stop with 1 or 2. And if we're all just playing a game of pretending we're full, wondering if I'm the only one that can eat hours past when others say they're done. I always wanted to be one of these girls that orders the tiniest little soup, the tiniest little dish, and just sits there so petite and perfect. But then once that wish came true, I found I lost to that illusion because nothing changed. Except me being paranoid that once I eat that pizza, I'll ruin my chance to fill that void. And that irrational fear that began to follow me around as I disappeared. As I disappeared into distorted reflections and glimpses of my body. Disappear into lies and thoughts I don't even want to tell anybody. Disappear into a reality where food was my worst enemy and my best friend, always taking over my entire brain from beginning to end. So no thanks. I know how cutting out carbs spirals for me, and I know I can never be truly fully free from the calories in my head. But I no longer go over these lists when I lie in my bed. I may feel prettier when I'm hungry, but I have more than a pretty face to offer the world. More than perfect legs or a body and a million other food stories left untold. And though these thoughts lie there, sometimes tugging at my feet, it's an addiction to fake promises that no number on a scale can ever meet. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
Oh, I think you're mute.
Oh, I was muted.
Abdullah, you're muted.
Sorry, Anna, as I was saying, can you just tell us a bit more about what you're currently doing alongside Mind Over Matter, please?
Yeah, so I'm part of the Mind Over Matter team, and we have psychotherapeutic creative workshops where every 2 weeks, and they're basically on Zoom. And this is like where I go over some anxiety techniques and ways of dealing with self-isolation. So I am not only a poet, but I'm also a psychotherapist, and I work in private practice normally. And yeah, we're doing some cool workshops every 2 weeks. So you're more than welcome to join. They're free.
Perfect. Thank you very much again for sharing with us, Hannah.
Thank you.
Well done. What you can hear in the background there is a massive part of BYOB, which is basically a soundboard. So Solomon normally is behind the decks, and he normally plays a bit of, he plays something in the background before or after the poet that goes on. I'm going to play something for this poet before he comes on. And this poet is absolute fire on the mic. I wouldn't necessarily call him a poet just by himself. He's also a rapper, an MC, and he goes by the name of Doberman.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Doberman, could you unmute yourself, please? There it is.
All right. Yeah, man, this piece is for, I wrote it like years ago when I was just feeling dead disillusioned at the whole sort of 9-to-5 structure of things. I've only ever performed it like a handful of times live, one of those being when I got laid off once, one of the many times. I feel like it's probably going to happen again in the current situation. So I'm just going to dedicate.
Sorry, Doberman. Could you try and put the volume up from your side, or could you try and speak closer to the mic?
Yeah. I could put on my Britney Spears headset, but it's not very hip hop.
Don't worry, it's about the bars, not necessarily the headphones.
Mate, I feel you.
Am I leaning in close enough? I'm very aware that this probably isn't a very pretty view. Is that any better?
Yep, that's fine. That's a little bit better.
Yeah, man. I'll dedicate this one to anyone who's been financially or in terms of their employability done over by the current situation, man. Thoughts go out to you. This one's called Bollocks. Life's a chessboard. And my words are their hands, moving vexed pawns myself when they're too nervous to stand. He didn't say this aloud, it was written in his eyes. Stitched into that pinstripe suit with no tie and one too many buttons undone on his shirt. Like I meant to see his chest hair as summit of worth. He seemed unperturbed, uncouth and unconcerned that there could be a balance of bad and good in the world. He'd subsist on slogans, conversing in captions, every mannerism a form of transaction for featherweight factions. His warmth was bereft, all he saw was corporate cause and effect. So Mr. Clifford, what do you know about accounts? Well, I know it pays enough to get out my mum's house. At the very mention of benefits and salary, he had me acting like I was a baby to the mammary. Damage me, degrade me, batter and berate me. I'll be a haggard and stammering mess, so exchange these morals I once had for financial safety. I'll be complacent, meek, I'll be page free. And while you're at it, take my pipe and its daydreams to vapors of expectation it contained leave. I'll drink liquid gold, fuck the brain freeze. I used to have a face and a name till this nation made me. I want a company car and a 30k wage because I've got this piece of paper and it says that I'm great. Do you want competence and logic or the knowledge in my brain? Honor the bollocks and swallow them. Dishonesty's the game. I want a company car and 30k wage because I've got this piece of paper and it says that I'm great. Do you want competence and logic or the knowledge in my brain? Honor the bollocks and swallow them. Dishonesty's the game. There's two sides to my desk and the face before me. 4 walls in this cubicle, lumen adorn me. No turn down offers for water, coffee or tea, and apparently just one side to my story. Not even my new record for looking at the floor beats the number of condescending names this man's called me. Surely this can't be all, he asks as he waves my curriculum vitae in his grasp, but I just sit barefaced. I'm scared straight, wishing I didn't make the decision to wear grey. Sweating more than is the norm, I dare say. 2 tones of my shirt resembling a fairway. Right, I think that I've seen all I need to see. He says to leave so he and his colleagues can convene. I'm ushered from a cubicle to a waiting room, sitting fidgeting until I form an impatient groove. I want to find a place to perch or lean, but each surface seems so disturbingly clean. To touch it would unearth an irksome squeak from the sounds of turgid greed that lurk beneath. How did the world make me think this could work for me? I've always shirked from exertion and spurned routine, but now my fate's being cast in a murmured scene where serpents discern my eternity. I should have known. Any pursuit of the arts is a tactless practice. I was doomed from the start. If you want the pennies to put the fuel in your car, say bye to your dreams of producing and bars. So decaffeinate my diligence as my principles continue to dwindle in significance. Give me some strict lessons of living like Leviticus, religiously dribbling my acquittal to the witnesses. Watch as my willingness to stick to my conviction diminishes, pissing away my pittances until I inhibit this Leodisian's inner proclivities of gripping a bit of his 5-figure fix and fritter it on a liquor binge. This decision was meant to be for the interim, but now it's bringing a stink that's suspiciously infinite. Like I'm one of a whole division of simians. Type until the whites of our eyes turn vermilion. Tell me it's fulfilling, I'll sign the dotted line on the forked tongue of a snake with a ladder to climb. All those hobbies of mine, I'll have plenty of time. I can grind 9 to 5, then rhyme 5 to 9. Online applying for roles I could be hired in and trying to figure out how my life could tie into the minimum requirements that I found specified on the job ads for grads or my fellow alumni have done. You've been mistaken, job seeker. A degree doesn't mean 20 G's is beneath you. Sell your soul cheap, there's another one cheaper. We're playing the market in a nation of shopkeepers. There you go.
Yes,
Wow.
wow. Sorry. Yeah. So good.
I think we can all relate to that, can't we? To
that was hip hop.
Well. That was hip hop to the core as well. But you know what? You're all right for someone from West Yorkshire.
Have mercy, please.
No, one more time. Another round of applause for the one, the only Doberman, please.
A crowd from somewhere.
Now, from one foreign country, West Yorkshire, to another, and we move over to Russia for our next poet. Now, this is a poet who I think is actually one of the hardest working I've seen ever since we've been on lockdown. I've seen her on Trouble Tongues. I've seen her with Corey G in New York. I've seen her with Mind Over Matter. I've seen her, I think, with Lunar Legacy as well. But she is the Zoom queen, as I like to call her. Could you please give it up for the one, the only Angela Yalsheva?
Goodness, Zoom queen.
Oh my goodness, Jesus Christ!
Sorry, Angela, you're gonna have to unmute yourself.
Am I on?
Yeah,
I'm on, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm good. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Wow, what a great introduction. I really hope I can live up to it. You've made it super hard for me, but thank you so much. Thank you for the great welcome. And I just want to say to all the previous performers, wow, what a great lineup. So I just wanted to say that a bit on a personal note, that I think spoken word is a great place where I truly feel like it's a safe space, and you can share anything and everyone will listen, and it's like a really special group of people, and that's why I keep coming back to it. And today I want to get particularly vulnerable, and I'm going to read out a poem that I've never read out to a group of strangers before, and like to the world, because it's on like YouTube, and like maybe my future children will see it one day, but who knows. So this one is called Green-Eyed Tomcat. I wrote a goodbye letter long before I was gone. Had the thought preceded the action, or the act itself had already been born? A brick wall. You stand still, I stand tall. I stand up and I leave, and it's none of your business at all. Isn't it sad? I bet you're not sad, not bothered by that, walking on your own, a green-eyed tomcat. Click, clack, splash, infinity in a dash, a moment, a flash, a million stories, a million worries covered in ash. The beast released took 2 years to appease, but some parts of peace I will always miss. Don't look at me. It's not my face that you're going to see. The same silhouette. Haven't found it yet. Forgive and forget. My pillow, wet. You know the funny thing about closed doors? The harder you knock on them, hit on them, trying to be with them, the more it hurts and the more bruises you get, and the blame in the end is all yours. And I just kept on knocking, craving for that sense of belonging, because every now and then you would leave your door ajar. And I know now, and I knew then, that I shouldn't have taken it this far. And no one should ever laugh at someone giving their all when promised only a half. I'm not deaf, I'm not stupid, I'm only hopeful that things will work out. Is it too much to ask for? Take it or leave it, you said. I wrote a goodbye note. I left. Thank you very much.
Love that. Love that so much.
Thank you,
Thank
sweet. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
It says I'm muted. Okay, perfect. Well done there, Angela. Right, again, so BYOB was designed to give poets from all around London the opportunity to be able to spit, and especially for Northwest London artists to be able to spit their truth as well. But it's nice to have someone from Russia. But let's bring it closer to home. Someone who is from Northwest London, someone who is a headliner or a previous headliner for us. She is an author of a new book called 20 something, which I have here somewhere, which I will show you in a second. But before I show you her book, could you please give it up for the one, the only, the queen of rhyme, Samira Samirai.
Oh, yeah, legend.
Thanks for the intro. Yes, I do have a book which I launched a couple of months ago. I wasn't even going to do it, thinking to just do a free write that I wrote this morning. So basically, there's a Poets Can't Rap challenge that's happening, and I got nominated by a few people. So I thought, all right, let me put the beat on and see what I come up with. It's nothing special, but I thought I'd give it a go and do it here. but I can also do a piece from the book later as well. Up to you guys. So let me go.
New shit.
New shit. So literally the quick short freestyle that I wrote. Right.
Sorry, just before we get started as well, just so I can remind everyone, can we please refrain from the swearing? Remember, we are sponsored by Brent 2020 London
I'm
Borough
so
Poetry.
sorry. I'm
That's all right,
genuinely
no
so
problem.
sorry.
That's okay.
Can you guys hear the beat? Yeah? All right, sweet. Poets Can't Rap Challenge. Queen Sammy, yeah, you can call me your highness. I don't do music, but I thought I'd try this. I'm a virgin to this beat, but on the mic, there's no shyness. I bang, bring heat and energy, never tireless. I can do rounds, got the strength of a lioness. Make my bed and I ain't afraid to lie in it. Break bread and I'm dividing it. Food for thought, I'm providing it. Usually bringing flow and usually rhyming it. They say poets can't rap well, I ain't buying it. We're hard hitting. This challenge got us spitting and defying it. This is a freestyle and I ain't rectifying it. Poets bring fire, there's no denying it. Dead the beat and people still be vibing it. Ayatul Kursi, I'm reciting it, because there's bound to be an evil eye in this. Judging and saying I ain't a piesis, but I speak my truth, I ain't a liar, sis. Dead the beat, I let the flow assist. Poetical wordsmith on the beat and I'm owning this. Quick bars. Right.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
What the hell?
Oh,
Absolute legend.
Happening?
Absolute legend.
What's going
Lordy
on?
Lord! Lordy Lord!
Come again.
I was just having a bit of fun this morning. And I'm glad because like during origin, I feel
What was that?
Wow.
That's where the blessings come in.
Jesus.
Samira, you absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it as well. Can we please give her another round of applause? Unfortunately, Samira, I would love to hear another poem from you as well, but we are
no worries.
Move on to the next poet as well, but absolutely smashed it as well. Speaking of people who did the Poets Can Rap Challenge and absolutely smashed it, I know that Benny Bruce did that earlier on today, but earlier on this past week as well. I hope he might be able to play one of his songs later on as well. But Benny Bruce, I'll come back to you later on because unfortunately we have to move on as quickly as possible. But there is no misfortune with this person. This person is an absolute sweetheart. She emerged on the scene a while back as well, and she was a bit anxious when she got on stage, but she absolutely killed it when she went on to Mind Over Matter. And ever since then, I've seen her confidence grow. Could we please give it up for the one, the only, Kat Petrovic?
Go on, Kat. What an intro. Thanks, Abdul. That was sweet. Oh my god. Okay. I need to unmute. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear.
This is a bit of like I didn't want to do it because it's a bit of a downer now. I'm like reading it back, but basically I've been going through therapy for PTSD, and then I had my session with my therapist, and she suggested I write it down as we do, you know. So I'm just gonna read it. Whatever. Therapy from my bed. Listening to you tell me that wrong is okay too. That there is no right or wrong in life. There is no right way. There's just a way. We must choose. Just the way that we must choose. I pop another Pom Bear crisp, letting my spit dissolve it, so you do not hear and think me rude. But I haven't eaten yet. Sleeping at sunrise will do that. Impulsion so hard to word, sense of safety hides in blankets no longer needed. To control the idea that the pain will never go. If you feel like you need to cry to prove that you are right, just slow down and take time. Come back to it in a little while. When in hostile environment, we want to create balance, not bounce from one extreme to another. Organization is integral to survive. Do the best to protect yourself mentally, physically, emotionally. Do what's necessary. Don't turn peace inside into vulnerability. When in danger, we fight with the behaviors our trauma gifted us. Post-traumatic stress in London, a story of 21 years ago. I bathe in the light outside, Grateful for her rays, innate meditation to bulletproof myself. Or that's what I'm told helps. Unnatural tones thread knives through my ice skin. I lose my breath. Such a sudden offense. And yet this too passes by, taking with it its traumatic cry. An air of tranquility steps outside. Hey beautiful, you alright? You'd heard it pass and you knew that meant that I wasn't all here. But you couldn't know, you weren't there. War erupts within my head every time a helicopter flutters by. It takes with it my heart and rational mind. It is when I can find the words to describe madness and thought poisoning my life. In word, I try to blind vision of behind, however, focus forward rarely brings progress. The integral decline of time insists I conquer battle after battle. While another's war devours my home, I'm dangerously still trying to climb amongst the rubble. Asylum-seeking refugee immigrant were foreign to my mother tongue. Some words you learn, some you only know when another calls you so. Ignorance is a kick to the shin, childish laughter poisons me. Foreigner, go home, you're so poor, you're fresh off the door, because mama could not afford a plane. So now I carry a bottle of bubbles, a reminder that the softest touch can affect another in ways we couldn't imagine. Pop burst the bubble, lubricating the way, an abandoned car, an overflowing bus, our premiere flight. And that's how we left. Suddenly torn from all we'd known, 3 or so weeks of running away from home, mama begging an embassy, attempt 4, to prove the humanity in herself, and her 2 girls of just 6 and 4 years old. We couldn't have known. Evil in its weaponized form, even though we were there, amongst the flickers of pain she is haunted, sparring airstrikes on her own to gift us illusion of safety, so she can wrap us in this thought alone. I remember it all as the helicopter flies to its base in this city we now call home. We could not have known. We'd end up so unfamiliar. We'd lose our fluent tongues, still learning to occupy this hole. We were there, and then we were not.
Oh my God.
Yes, Kat.
So good.
Thank you so much.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you so much. That was so amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
I don't want to run off the stage.
That was so fucking amazing.
You
So
absolutely
amazing.
killed it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. It's one of those ones as well. I think unless you've gone through war yourself, you won't necessarily know the trauma of it as well. So it's definitely something that I think my parents and the generation before me, especially Iraqis that came over here, can relate to as well. So thank you for sharing that again. Another round of applause, please, for Kat.
Woo!
All right, now moving on swiftly to a man who I can only describe as abstract, ethereal, elusive, amazing, the beautiful, the one, the only Adisa Ajna.
Yeah. That's a nice introduction, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you, and I can see you as well.
Cool, man. So I'm just gonna get straight into it. But yeah, it's basically it's a true story that I made into a poem. Some of you might have heard it on, but here we go. Tell me, who really knows what pain is? Picture sleeping outside in the cold and it's raining. Wet cardboard sheets on concrete pavements. Spikes built into the ground, stopping poor people's sleep sounds like a sin. This is England, makes you feel proud to live in, where sleep is literally denied to the homeless. PC pigs trot along with their hands under the vest, telling humans in need they have no right for arrest. The way these feds move, I find it very hard to digest, but I guess they do serve the queen of pirates. They do serve the queen of stolen blood diamonds with a crown on her head, all the treasure in the world, but no heart in her chest. Spikes welded to the ground protect the prestige and famous. If you're poor on the floor, you're seen as an alien wasting the space it's invading. They'll make you move on while shoes on your faded. Policy officers don't even care if it's raining. Some of us are living under broken homes and other people couldn't even say where home is. London Bridge, underground station where the Matrix vibe lives. I sat down next to a woman who was homeless. All I had to offer were my words to exchange with, so she told me a glimpse of the pain that her day gives. She said, before you came and sat down to ask what my name is, a man in a suit kicked over the pot where my change lives. Screamed in my face because my existence enraged him, asking me, why are you crying? Why are you lying? I bet you just want drugs, so stop fucking whining. I told him, come back, let me talk to you. Let's just assume that how you just judge me, every part of it's true. And I am a drug addict, begging like Oliver with my hand out, asking for more because my life's so crude and every day feels raw. I need some moments to soothe because all my joints feel sore. So even if I was an addict and you were right all along, I called you back to let you see that you were still dead wrong. Is this what it takes to make a man feel strong? 5 minutes of harassing a woman on the street with no socks on her feet. Today I feel weak because I've had nothing to eat. I cried today, I'm feeling defeat from being kicked in the teeth. See, I'm a hard woman, but today was even harder than me. Like an asthmatic tied up trying to breathe. So you attacked me for allowing my tears to release? Facts, you have deeper reach than me. I said, trust me, Julia, and nudged her fist to agree. Julia looked me in the eye, she hadn't finished explaining the pain of this day that had her surrounded. She said at 3 AM awake to a bloody display, a man's kick, I thought that he had broken my face. I couldn't see clear like I was sprayed with a mace and it was harder to breathe from all the blood in my face. I said, sorry you had a shit start and end to your day. She told me, listen, that's not half of it, mate. A few hours later when I was walking alone, a guy stopped me in my tracks while I was walking on road, offered me a score because he wanted me to blow him away. Because I said no, he tightly squeezed my neck like a brace before violently proceeding to spit his phlegm in my face. After listening to Julia, it was scary to think that this was just one day of hers, she had explained from the week. Sometimes truth can be hard on the ears. Conspiracies of the end of days keep people living in fear, whilst there are many Julias living this Armageddon for years. Thank you.
Yo, that was sick, man.
Absolutely amazing there. Well done again there, Adisa. Again, when we talk about progress, and you make me keep on making progress every time I see you as well. So again, another round of applause, please, for Adisa.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, well, I'm currently on Facebook at the moment, and I'm looking at the people who are commenting. We've got Fee over there. We've got Jackie Sear. We have the one that only Lance and Carry on there as well, Jennifer Adams. But we also have Bexy Bex, which reminds me, we need to do an energy check. So when I say energy check, I want you to say, yeah, yeah. Energy check.
Yeah.
Yep. Damn, I miss all you guys. I miss seeing all you guys in person. Right, so moving on to the next poet. Now, this is one of the great things about open mic nights. You get to meet poets that you've never seen before, and I don't think I've actually seen this next poet before. However, I am 100% certain that she is going to bring the fire for us tonight. We are going to go straight to the one, the only, Rachel Lewis.
This is my first time to BYOB. You're quite right. We have not met before. I'm really excited to be here. I've really enjoyed it so far. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yeah? Great, I'm gonna go. Short poem. So I use poems to say things I don't know how to say any other way. And this poem is called For Christine. I need to tell you something over Zoom. But once we dial in, the words just hide, all shy, inside my trachea. Instead, I post you food and booze you don't have time to drink or cook. I buy you fancy bath bombs, then I wonder if I'm being astoundingly stupid. She's not having nice baths. It's a national emergency, Rachel. And all I'm trying to say with all this stupid tat is that I wish I could be of some use to you. I wish I could be key with you. I wish I'd studied medicine, but truthfully, I doubt I could. I do not have the guts you do. Because it takes backbone to shove breathing tubes down other people's necks. It takes nerve to know when someone's brain is going dark, and it takes heart to put your own heart on the firing line. And none of that is anything I can say properly over Zoom in Tetris conversations that should be hugged out tears. Because you have all that, my love. Nerve, heart, and guts. You do, you know, you do. It is my job. Signed up for this, is what you'd say if you heard this. But you are not just doing your job. You are going above and beyond your duty. And I am trying to do mine, which is appreciating you, thanking you, supporting the drives for PPE to get you what you need to do your job, and staying inside, of course. I promise. I'm doing that for you.
Yes.
Well done there, Rachel. Well done. Rachel, can I ask, how did you find out about BYOB?
How did I can't remember, you know. Oh, I know. I remember. So I'm from Northwest London, and I literally Googled Northwest London Poetry Nights like 6 months ago, and I was like, BYOB, I'm going to go. And then I never did, and lockdown happened, and today I'm here.
And here we are. We'd love for you to be there whenever we get to do our physical shows again. They do happen at Box Park, Wembley, when we do get the chance. They will still be sponsored by Brent 2020 London Borough of Culture. But in any case, we'd love to sponsor you on stage anytime you get on there as well. So another round of applause, please, for Rachel. Now, this next poet
straight up
is one of the best lyricists I've heard in my whole life. He not only raps, he not only does poetry, but he also makes absolutely amazingly beautiful t-shirts as well, and clothing.
To this day,
he's made one of my favorite ever t-shirts, which says Balenciaga, except at the end it says Argos at the end, so it's Balenciagos, which is just the funniest thing to me as well. He is the one, the only, the person who I've been flirting with on the side, but he hasn't noticed as well. Where I've just said, you're next, bring the fire, you absolute legend, damn, I miss you. And he just keeps on ignoring me. But he is someone not to be ignored on this scene. He is the one, the only, Simeon Fora, aka Black Score.
Very much. What an intro. Oh, am I? Yeah, I'm on. Okay. Right. This poem is. It's meant to be. It's meant to be performed on stage. It's about performing on stage and and all the fear and difficulties that brings. So imagine I'm on stage. It's called Butterflies. As I stand on this stage at 44, it pains me to say I was always more afraid than brave, always more safe, always more lazy and plain than crazy and deranged, way before I had Jay-Z in my range. And there's no easy way for me to phrase the many ways I could have changed my type and turned my life into a stage, had I only fought the safe cage. I could have sown seeds and grown poetries on the main stage, but I dimmed my light just to save face. Always lacked the high beam, so I stayed at a safe pace. And by that, I don't mean to bid for your pity, because I've had it easy, but always been more good kid than mad city. And actually, in all the years I've been around, the trick I found to get life to lick your bum bum down is to not always sit down and be humble. If you don't jump around, sometimes you stumble. And I've had a good ride, but always pimped my lit side. I guess that's why this poem's called Butterflies, because my fall came before my pride. And when I was in the gutter, I muttered with a stuttered cry that if I survived this, I'd undertake to partake in more things that give me butterflies. Because butterflies are the heart's way to indicate that you're ready to overtake. I've always been good at laying roots, but slow to maneuver straight out of outdated states and change lanes like an Audi 8, because I've been down like the pound of late, with every great idea drowned out by the sound of wait, is it safe? With every success, I feel negativity's breath beside me. It accompanies my hits like a B-side. It resides outside of me, not too far. It stands just to the side of me like, hi, it's me. No, it's fine. I don't need the mic because the ample time that ambles by where I'm in your sight makes me amplified. So I might just watch you freeze on this lonely mic. This open mic ain't going like you hoped it might. Because I'm the fright they see in you. I'm the sight they see in you. I'm the flashing lights in your rear view and I'm getting close. I'm your shaking hand. I'm the frog in your throat. I listen to your plans and I'm the one saying don't. And I'll steal the words before they've left your lips and leave them teetering on your tongue's tip. Watch you come undone in a sea of supportive finger clicks. You're aborting mission quick because you thought this was an instant hit. And with every bar you drop on every stage, I'll pick it up and build a cage until you rage against my sheen. And I'm like, flip you, I won't do what you tell me. But there was a time when I would have believed what he was telling me. There was a time when I would have believed what he was telling me. But with a lot of meditation and a bit of therapy, I realized that if he's over there and I'm over here, then that's not my fear, that's just fear. So I've got a choice whether to bend and lend an ear. Because these thoughts only persist if you credit them. Negatives exist in a dark room until you develop them. So from the start, if I'd only spoken more, I could have opened that door and overexposed the phony prose that composed my thoughts. And looking back, I see my tracks came off road when I supposed I owned those thoughts. Because I guess there's nothing like pain to show you that thought rides in a lane on its own. You drive yourself insane if you try to hitch a ride and place blame on your shoulders. And sometimes it's just sold as duplicity, but sometimes it's just sold as duplicity, but some days I feel complicit, see, and it pays to ask sometimes simply, is it me? Will my real Slim Shady ever visit me someday? Because negativities fade in the cold light of, hey, can I see some identification, please? License and registration, please. You realize it's a felony to be impersonating someone's identity. So there's me, renting a shared 3-bedroom semi-me, while letting my best be subletted. Subjected to unvetted guests that test the cemented me to the detriment of me, but I do believe these guests were sent to me. And I guess the test is knowing the guest is not going to rest his head in your head forever, because we've all got a guest list too long to measure, but every guest leaves treasure, see. So to be a better me, I better be setting sail on these MCs, because into that good night, I do not want to go gently. And as I stand on this stage tonight, the butterflies rage against the dying of the light in there, because I'm not a king, but I'm trying for the lion's share. My pride's arrived and it's alive in here. So what's best is clear, to have a door wide open, because today's guest is fear. So come on in here, dear, take a rest. You took the best, now try for the rest, come test me. You can clear me out till I'm utterly empty, but I will battle you like a sucker MC, and I've still got the scars you left me. And yeah, you put up bars, but man, I dropped plenty. And I didn't easy for reasons being I'm a seasoned being like the BBC. By all means, battle me, but I come with T's and C's. You deep freeze MCs, keep them on their knees, but I hold my value like eBayed easy season 3s. Pleased to meet you, because it means I'm free of these insecurities. You latch on to me, so run, come catch me. Phones off, don't at me. No more stutter rap, that battle crap can't match me, because I've got butterflies and they're only just hatching. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, sick!
What?
So sick!
Epic.
Oh my god!
Police! Police! Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police!
How dare you? How dare you?
Level. Oh man.
Levels. Let's give him a round of applause, please. How dare you? I can't even look at him in the face anymore.
You guys.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Epic.
So we can't always say this as well, but I think I'm going to say it for certain as well. We definitely do have a future headliner in there somewhere as well. This Black Score's going places. Wow. He's definitely. I'm just going to start talking right now. I'm in love with his words.
Thank you so much.
Right, so we have 3 more people on the open mic. Thank you very much there again, Black Score. But we're going to move on to the one, the only, the amazing Amy McAllister.
Let's get it.
Hello. Sorry, I was just unmuting myself. So it's like 1 minute till the watershed. Am I safe?
Go for it.
Okay. It's not that bad, just a bit bad. Okay. Hey everyone. So I wrote this like about a week into quarantine. I'm alone. I'm living on my own, and I found it really shocking how much really small touches matter. But it's actually been kind of nice to realize like how human-y I am. I guess I knew I was, but I didn't realize how basic that was. Anyway, this is called touch. Touch me. Knock your ankle against mine or scratch my scalp. Wipe a fallen eyelash from my cheek. Speak with your fingers on my forearm. Do that thing where you come up behind me while I'm cooking and go tss on my waist and I go, ah, then stop it. Squeeze my shoulder. Body check me as we pass between these rooms. Pull out a single hair when I'm not looking. Give my ear a nasty ass wet willy, press against me. Lay your head upon my lap. Tickle my neck or flick me on the temple. Push me, pull me, pat me on the head. Sit with all your weight on me until I beg for mercy and cry out, poke my fucking eye out. Slap me hard across the face or punch me in the stomach. Force my mouth wide open, bite my tongue. Drag me along the landing by the wrist. I've not been kissed, not had an arm around me, not an affectionate chin chuck, fuck all since this. Touch me. Yes, touch me any which way. Love me, scare me. I honestly don't give a shit how we connect, but fucking touch me. I can feel my skin retracting, drying out. My joints are seizing up. My heart is slowing down. Sit down beside me here, just here, and have a lean. Don't let's get used to this. Don't let me not need anyone again. It took an age to understand how much I do, and God, I really do. When this is over, I am going to get arrested. I will sidle up to strangers on the buses, hold their hands. Hover in the playground, pecking children on the forehead. Hug pensioners, survivors in the Nisa local. I will run my fingers through the barber's lovely hair, force neighbors to dance salsa with me, and lick other people's partners' elbows. And when I get to prison, I'll start fights, insult whoever's in for GBH, and maybe even drop the soap. For now, though, if you're next to someone, sharing germs and fears and dinners, count your blessings. They might comment on how fat your ass is getting every time you go to grab a snack, or kick you in the shins while screaming, "You're so mean, I hate you," when you won't allow them that 10th hour in a row on Disney+. They might ask you when you're going to get yourself a boyfriend now that it is Armageddon, or incessantly remind you that you still owe them that 20 quid, or that your bed won't make itself, or that you really ought to get a mortgage, silly. But believe me, the alternative is hellishly unnatural. So grab whichever dickheads you're holed up with. See that there is goodness in them, in us all, in all our fallible, annoying, loud, inane humanity, and kiss them, hug them hard, from you, and then again once more from me.
Another fucking vibe.
Sweet. If you get arrested, we'll bail you out, innit?
May, thank you so much. That means a lot. Means a lot. Thank you, guys.
That was beautiful.
Thanks.
You can't hear us laughing, but we were.
Oh,
Oh,
thanks.
Oh, I've been muted as well. Amy, I just said, please don't lick my elbows. And please, I mean, by that point, I might have some hair for you to
I
show.
can't make any promises. Like, honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some mad stuff.
Okay. Well, that's all I can say to that as well. But one more time, please, for Amy McAllister.
Guys, thanks. Love you all.
Thank you. Right, now moving on to the second to last person on our open mic, and this MC, this poet, smells of cocoa butter and success.
Yeah,
perfect combination.
Perfect combination as well.
Cocoa butter.
He is the Mr. Poets Can Rap Challenge. He's done the best, well, in my opinion, the best one out of the Poets Can Rap Challenge, and he is about to blow your mind. Could you please give it up for the one, the only Benny Bruce?
Go on, Benny.
Go, Benny.
What's going on, guys? Boy, I don't know if to do that one or do I'm gonna have to do a different one, you know. But this one's called Broken Mirrors. But yeah, hopefully you get a message from it as well. Everybody's got their lorry in the car park. And that car park's got a truck full of problems. Masked in flesh, that's the hard part. And everybody acts like they're all good. And see, that's the definition of a hard cast. In the world's biggest show on production, so let me take you in and give a small glimpse. Let me take you in and give a small glance. Because I stare at my reflection in the mirror. And it feels like the mirror on the wall says something that's the unfairest of them all. You see, the mirror on the wall says my life is not a Disney fantasy. And it's not all hunky-dory because I'm a shipwreck or a tragedy. And so I'm there trying to analyze the story. Is it funny? Is it gory? Is it Jekyll? Is it Hyde? Is it passion? Is it pride? Is it truth? Is it lies? Will I fall? Will I rise? I'm conflicted in my mind. It's a battlefield. And in the field, I'm conflicted with some minds when a boy's not even made of steel. But then I still have to be the man of steel, even though I'm Clark Kent. You won't know how that feels. When it's sticks and stones that may break my bones, but what's worse, my thoughts can burn me. Because in my head, I'll be rivaling myself, man. It's like a North London derby. I spur myself on, but there's gunners all around shooting down dreams that concern me. And it's these shots that make me say to myself, yo, B, man, are you really worthy? Are you really worthy? Are you really worthy? And it's peak. You ain't peaked that early. Just stand there looking like a penny whilst everyone around's looking shiny and pearly. You see, it's not all black and white when you start feeling like a wretch in a space of just 2 seconds. 1 second left and I'm done growing over life, so I think am I better off not even present? Because there's 6 words that echo so loud in my system. I have no treasure in me. And that's priceless thinking when you feel like a worthless victim. I mean, so much for being Mr. Cocoa Butter and success until you look into the mirror and see a dried up failure. I mean, so much for being a dried up failure to the world when you've always got a mask of a savior. You see, that mask is a deception and an illusion of my confidence when the weight of the world permeates through my shoulders, soul, and competence. I can't do this anymore. They ask, are you okay? I say, yeah, man, I'm sure. But that assurance is just a cancer to the cure because my mind is beat down and my body, man, is sore. How are you? You see, that's responded to with an I'm good. Even though it really means I'm good for nothing, but just keep it moving. Because failure ain't an option and too many people need a man, right? Show no weakness because the ladies need a man, right? Wrong, I need help. The words are never uttered when they were really just trying to check up on my health and God, it's all a struggle. Sometimes I just want it all to end so I can be present with yourself. In that moment when you're alone with your thoughts, the silence is deafening. You start thinking of the peace that your end can bring. But that's a lie from the devil because my God made a better king. You see, I've got a purpose in the world and the devil's trying to sever it so I will stand tall and tell him face to face he can never win. You see, I may be perfectly imperfected, but my God says you're accepted in a place where you're neglected. And just remember, a season is not forever. So please seek help in the storms and the rainy weather. I can never say that every day is going to be sunny, but know that after the rain comes a rainbow when you're not feeling all together. Don't go through this on your own. I used to stay on mute and would just think I'm all alone. Find someone you can trust in. So when the mirror on the wall starts to talk back, I'll put his voice on mute and tell him where my thoughts are. Because yes, I'm not a Disney fantasy. And yes, I'm more like a tragedy. But I refuse to stand there and let this mirror try and damage me. You see, a reflection is not a reality. And if I break this mirror, I'll be the one still standing. And because God sees the best in me, therefore you will see a better me. And because God sees the best in me, therefore you will see a better me. This is written by Benny. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, good.
Killed it, man. Killed it.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you.
Felt that.
Cheers, guys. But yeah, no, it's just like, obviously during this period as well, everyone just got different levels and stages. And I guess the strongest people even need support all the time. And I guess checking in on your friends, checking on your family. Not everyone is able to talk as easy as you think it can be. And even me as a poet, I struggle to speak properly. So sometimes I just put things on my word or I struggle to open up. But yeah, man, I hope everyone's doing well, stay safe, and just talk to anyone that you need to, man. Love.
Back at
Shout
you,
out
back
Abdullah,
at
man.
you.
Love you, Benny.
Thank you, Benny. We love you.
Man, you know, it's been so long since I've seen you like live.
I know, man. You gone bold.
I know. And in that
Well
time
done.
as well, you've gone platinum in this scene.
You was it?
Mate. Now you've done it. You've done it. If you keep going the way that you are as well, and you support Arsenal, there is hope still yet. So you know, because you are a gunner.
I'm finished. I'm finished.
All right, yeah. Cheesy jokes aside as well.
Thank you for having me, man. I do appreciate it, man. Big up BYOB every time.
Much appreciated, my brother. So, you know what? First time you came over to BYOB, we couldn't get you on stage though, but I'm so happy that you managed to get on stage this time, and you will be back here again, hopefully very, very, very soon as well as a headline.
Appreciate that, my bro.
You absolutely smashed it as well, bro.
Love that, my bro. Appreciate that, man. Love, guys. Take care.
All the best, bro. All right, and now we are moving on to the final open micer, but that does not do her enough credit. She is the second former headliner on this stage tonight, and she is absolutely fire. She puts the world to rights. I mean, I'll let her words talk for her as well. She is the one, the only Heya! Oh yeah, Heya, I did say before you went on, I was going to have to play this.
Oh my God! Wow!
What was that?
That was
Just before
random.
Heya says what she's going to wow us as well, so I thought I'd play that. But in any case, I'm going to stop talking. Heya, the stage is yours.
Cool. So I'm actually going to do a poem for women who like still get really sexualized. And even like sometimes I feel like my poetry can get like sexualized. So I'm gonna do a poem for the ladies. Cool. Since we all came from a woman, got our name from a woman, and our game from a woman. I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? I think it's time we kill for our women, time to heal our women, be real to our women. Because all I see is a generation of men who are lost and confused. All I see is these men preaching, thinking they're teaching, but can't even keep their lower chakras in check. Talking about energy, vibration, and frequency, but sexualize and disrespect women so frequently, so easy to see. Preconceived intentions and doing the most for attention, talking about conspiracies. Esoteric thinkers and spiritual beliefs, but still can't keep yourself aligned when a beautiful woman walks by. What's the point of worldly knowledge when you haven't mastered the one within yourself? But still, you want to bring a woman into your world and your commitment to your ego is larger than the commitment you have to your heart. So before you start searching for your soulmate, maybe try finding your soulmate. Only then can your soul mate with another. But until then, work on your personal growth, because we're living in a time where women are fulfilling their feminine and masculine, embracing their yin and not waiting for a man to fulfill their yang. So many thirsty men trying to use us to help them rehydrate. We are wildfire women. You can't put out our flames. We dance around men like you. We can't be tamed. The fire in our stomach burns bright like the sun. Know that we will help you shine, but we're not looking to raise the sun. We're not in need of your vitamin D. We're not deficient. We know how to satisfy our own needs. So if you see a woman burning bright, she's not calling for an SOS. We're not damsels in distress. If anything, you cause us more damn stress. Forgive me, I'm a fire sign, but I'm not here to burn you. I'm here to shed light, ignite truth, because some men need to hear it. You act like you didn't come from a woman. There's so much smoke in your eyes. I'm just trying to clear it. So much disrespect in your actions, but we no longer fear it. Our sisterhood is strong, but we don't want to burn you at the stake. Why waste it when we can use our magic in other ways? We don't want to cast spells. We want to break them. Women just want peace. We don't want to be catcalled by dogs. Why should we only be able to find our king once we've kissed 100 frogs? Why should women be caged for your animalistic ways? Why should we consider covering our skin, consider holding our phone for safety when we're on our way home? This house holds powers, but you cannot trespass past our gates. You cannot force your way into our sacred space. Our stairway leads to a heaven, and only we decide who gets to climb them. Our walls are a portal to divinity. Only we decide who goes inside them. But rather than teaching men to change their outlook, we teach women to look out for men. If you cannot look at a woman's body without it being sexualized, your sexual eyes are the problem. We are belittled, taught to be little. We hesitate in case we receive hate for showing our bodies, shrink ourselves to make others feel big. The egos are deafening. They don't even know your name, but they've got comments and opinions for days that just shows they're weak. Control, inequality, and ownership. They try to own our ship, this vessel that sheds blood, bears children while we bear and grin. We are mothers, sisters, daughters, but I'm here having to teach you what your parents never taught you. I thought this would be basic knowledge, but I'm here having to school you. We're still the subject of rape, slut shamed, body shamed. So I'm giving you a lesson in respect, giving you free knowledge, using my pen to correct your mistakes. I'm helping you graduate because the angle some men come at, there's no honor in your degrees. Your intimidating words leave a bad taste in our mouth. And I know this truth sounds bitter, but why sugarcoat something so many women endure? Someone has to speak up for the women who have been degraded, bodies invaded, followed, silence, beaten and leaving, those who have escaped and those who remain caged. We don't hate men, we love them, but we love the safety of women more. We snap back as a defense mechanism and overcompensate with being tough these days. You would too if you carried the weight of every single woman's pain. Queen, keep your head up, never bow your head in their shame. Thank you.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
that noise. K Poetry, you found the reaction button.
Yes. I don't know where the emojis are still.
Hey, so this is what I've been doing. If you've been watching on YouTube, I've been switching over from speaker view to the audience reaction, and I had to switch it on a few times just for everyone to be able to see the audience reaction. I've already got some audience reactions here. Lily Valentine says yes. Amaya the Arc's got her hands up. Lily Valentine again says facts. A's Hussein is giving you a round of applause as well. But actually, you know what? I think that's what everyone's been doing the whole night is on. Every time you go on stage, you know, after the reaction, during your poetry and after you finish your poem, how important your words are to the people that listen to it as well. So thank you again for sharing.
Word, man. Important, man. Important.
Thanks.
Absolutely as well. One more round of applause, please, for Haya.
Thank you.
And now, you see, this is the open mic section done, which means that we now move on to the main event.
It's showtime.
This is the time to shine for Solomon. But you know what, Solomon Adams, what did we do on Friday?
Oh, we had the pleasure, man. You came round. You shot an amazing 3 videos. Spent a good, I don't know how many hours was it, man?
Oh, from like
2 till
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Spent a whole lot of hours filming and putting together some beautiful stuff you're about to see right now.
Which was amazingly edited by yourself, by the way, man. I've got a hand over your skills, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But you know what? Actually, the credit also goes to Akor as well, who did his bit there as well. Akor, could you please make yourself known?
Yo, what's up?
Guy.
Akor again is another part of the BYOB family, one of the hosts, and he will be hosting on the 11th of May. So our next show is not on the 4th of May; it will be on the 11th of May, and he will be hosting with the headliner being Poet Curious. But he is also not only a bad man poet, a bad man host, a bad man photographer, as you all know as well, but he's also a bad boy. What's the word that I'm looking for here as well? Videographer. So a lot of the work that goes a lot of the work that goes onto our website is through him as well. The graphic designs is through him as well. But this is Solomon's time to shine. Now, I'm about to share with you one of the videos that we recorded, and hopefully this should be able to work. If it doesn't work, then thankfully Solomon and Tisha have said that they're happy to do it live. But we are going to try and play the first video. So I'm going to ask for everyone to mute their mics right now, please. And could you please pay attention to the screen as I share with you the first video. Can you see the video, please? Can you see the video, guys?
Yeah, we got it.
Perfect. Okay. Here's the world exclusive of Hip Hop Raise Me.
This is untapped language. I'm a literal maverick. From Yassine, I learned how to add it up like mathematics, and most definitely witnessing Johnny Blaze. I set sights on the rise of young flame Nas, as he distinguished simile from metaphor. Nas is like life or death. I'm a rebel. My poetry's deep. I never fell. It was only good time to witness God's sunshine and recollect whether I had been useless before, so I tightened my grip on the game. I garnered respect for those who stood premiere. I was introduced to Talib and Lauren. Used hip-hop as my flag, and I set my black star alight to gleam as correspondence. Amidst confusion and a loss of self-worth, I saw myself as an outcast. But my brothers and sisters didn't stop pressing me with common sense. You see, these were my tribe who did not stop until the spark was relit for adventure, which we prefer to call quest. Check. You see, these were my tribe who did not stop until the spark was relit for adventure, which we prefer to call quest. I knew one day this would all make sense. I just needed to be the man the younger me always needed. It took so much more than just being the dreamer. I became the believer. However, I was looking for eternity externally in this electric circus of universe and mind control. Finding forever had finally become within reach when I uncovered self-worth. Gave me 2 legs to stand firm on, and I saw that I could live from 9 to 5 till infinity. However, the stakes were high on my soul. Oh dear. You see, as you take a step up the staircase, the step you leave always seems to creak. A noteworthy sentiment, you might say. Yet I still rise higher, still elevating, yet still not forgetting the journeys I make home each night on my KRS-Ones. Every night, returning home, passing a derelict sunrise radio building with no sight of sunshine, just a dark, unlit tower. I return back to the supposed slum, which now occurs more like a village. You see my roots, you see my roots. You see, my roots are way too deep for me to forget my origins. I've been questing for love, something as sweet as the chocolate which I have the pleasure of calling my skin. But let me not begin, it's true. Some days I still get insecure about the fact that I may never drive a Royce or even reach 5'9", but then I recall lessons from my elders about the miseducation of this generation, searching for satisfaction in book covers, unaware of the content soon to be exposed. I thank God for amazing grace. For I was a wretched 16. Times that by 2, and I'll be smiling, reflecting on this exceptional journey called life. Still yet to see all 7 wonders of the world, yet I've listened to the 9th. I give thanks to where I've been so far. My notebook being my passport, stamped to the brim, where I write up destinations from these journeys to release all pent-up information which still has me shifting gears between work and play. I've stepped into a circle where it is a firm belief that yes, life is good. We've set out on a mission to make life great for all. We speak firm affirmations to one another like all we do is win. And even when they try to silence us, my family, our souls will eternally sing.
Wow.
That was sick.
Yeah, boy.
That was dope.
Oh my days, that came out sick.
Oh, big ups for the edit, man. That came out cold. That came out cold.
Good job. Good.
Thank you.
That melody as well.
Wow.
Big up Fish on the guitar as well. True musical genius right here. If you don't know about Tish Koto Dama, you need to get to know. You need to get to know. I say it with passion because it's real. He's a musical genius, and you need to know about him. If you don't know about him, follow him. T. Koto. Listen. Aye, cool with it. Listen.
Oh my lord.
But yeah, it's all love, innit? It's all love.
Yeah, man, that's good.
Alrighty.
What's happening?
Ooh. Are you muted, soft spoken?
I am muted. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, there we
Wow,
go.
you didn't hear anything that I said, did you?
No,
I've been talking for like 2
it
minutes.
got real awkward. We're just like
Jesus
real
Christ.
weird.
Proper Zoom there.
That was so weird.
Oh, that was super awkward.
We went full Zoom.
And every now and then, one of us just went deep, man, heavy. But that shit was good. Yeah, good shit.
Really good.
Solomon, whilst we have you here as well, can you tell us a little bit of the inspiration behind that poem, please?
So I bought a book. Ironically, I bought a book a good while ago on hip hop. for the last 5-6 years. I've just been studying it, but just not the genre specifically, more the consciousness behind it, the spirit of hip hop, the culture of it, that allows us to listen to these amazing albums that we listen to, that allows us to buy the merchandise that we buy, that allows us to wear the clothing that we buy, that allows us to eat the food we eat. You know, I look at hip hop kind of the way it influences the world in which we live. And I just wanted to write a piece which basically spoke about how hip hop has raised me, how it's lifted me to become a greater person. And yeah, it's kind of in the title really, hip hop raised me. It literally raised me, you know, from being a boy to becoming a man, you know, and that's through the lessons that it's taught, you know, not through the crap, I'll say the word crap, because I know we're past 9 o'clock, that, you know, a lot of people get caught up in sometimes regarding, you know, the genre of hip hop. A lot of people think hip hop's about the women and, you know, the sexualization of women, as Hyatt mentioned, and the money and the drugs and all of this stuff, but there's so much more to it, you know, and I'm trying to shine a light on that. So yeah. That was
Fair enough.
You did that, man. You did that.
You did that. You definitely did that. I will say this as well. So that video will be up on our YouTube later on tonight once I'm able to upload it, and you'll be able to see the other 2 videos. Now, unfortunately, one of the videos isn't with us to be able to play today. So I will be asking Tish and Solomon to get ready to play 2 a.m. please, if that's possible. Yeah. But for the time being, I will say that what we'll be doing, what we're trying to do with our thing is we're going to try and record our headliners every time as well, so you are able to see them in the best quality possible when we stream their work as well. But Tish and Solomon, if you could please get ready to, do you have the guitar ready with you?
Oh, no, we're going to use the keys because there's no guitar here.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you some time to prepare yourselves as well, but I'm going to give everyone else a chance to be able to prepare. Because this is an absolute amazing piece. This piece is off Solomon's EP, which is called Finding Worlds Again, which is, again, another ode to hip-hop as well, and another ode, especially, as you heard in that last poem, to Common. Well, I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited too as well. Before they get started, can we just have a massive round of applause, please, for Solomon and Tish. And a massive, and sorry guys, and just a massive apology to Akil, who has spent a lot of time editing that particular video, but unfortunately we haven't been able to play it today. But take it away, guys, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Can you hear the keys? Let's just do quick sound. Hear the keys? Amazing, cool. Okay. All right, this is 2 a.m.
Okay. Young boy, don't cry for tomorrow. The dust won't settle on your soul. Don't you know you are gonna live forever? Watching how it all rolls on and on.
I delve into this place wherever I be. I call it the monastery. Home is where the heart is, and where the heart is peace. Peace, it lies in the midst of a tornado spiraling out of control. I choose to see this tornado open before me and reflect upon the power twirling around from forces brought together, only wanted to gain liberty. Indeed, intellectualism is not rooted in faith, for faith suggests things that are not of reason. This is spiritual intellect. The life of the mind is troubled by external conditioning that surrounds us daily. We have been tuned by untuneful information which minds crave for. We adore that which we have become accustomed to, yet it is never too late to free ourselves from complacency. Time, it waits for no man. It's blatant to see that change is now and forever. You move with it or without it, rise with it and not above it, for it is destined to be spent with eternity.
Boy, don't cry for tomorrow. The dust won't settle on your soul. Don't you know you are gonna live forever?
Yeah.
Watching how it all rolls on and on.
You see this language that we speak speak, it is spoken. Spoken are words, these words are emerging. Emerging is conversation. Conversation is engagement. Engagement is union. Union is togetherness. Togetherness is harmony. This harmony is a family. This family is a tree. This tree is firm. Firm are roots. The roots are deep. Deep is the seed. The seed is now planted. Planted is nurtured. Nurtured is child. Child is truthful expression. Truthful expression is creativity. Creativity is openness. Openness is innovation. Innovation births concepts. Concepts are ideas. Ideas are divergent. Divergent is thinking. Thinking is process. Processed is mass media. Mass media is made. Made are inventions. Inventions are actions. Actions are mental. Mental are thoughts. These thoughts that we have, they are valuable, and valuable are expectations. Expectations are cravings. Cravings is hunger. Hunger is suffering. Suffering is pain, and pain creates tears. These tears are streams. Streams of water. This water is bottled. Bottled is simplicity. Simplicity is beautiful. Beautiful is distinct. Distinct is you. Yes, you are unique. Uniqueness is within. Within is my example. My example is Africa. Africa is faithful. Faithful is substance. This substance of peace. Peace is elusive. Elusive is subtle. Subtle is control. Control creates cages within cages. Is uniformity. Uniformity is these schools, and these schools are ideal. Ideal is prime. Prime is the time. The time is now 2, and 2 is us. Us is we. Yes, we are free. Free is play. Play is games. Games are politics. Politics are relations. Relations are public. Public is mobile. Mobile is movement. Movement is constant. Constant is change, and change is now. Now is presence. Present is real. Real is instinct. Instinct is impulse. Impulse is danger. Danger is overrated. Overrated is victory. Victory is life, and life is more. It is more than this. This is timeless. Timeless is love. Love is the truth. The truth is written. Written is destiny. Destiny is choice. And my family, the choice is ours.
Young boy, don't cry for tomorrow. The dust won't settle on your soul. Don't you know you are gonna live forever? Watching how it all rolls on and on.
Woo!
That was deep, man. I need to hear that again. Hard.
Good, man.
Yeah, man. Not only a wicked guitar player, but also a legend on the keys. Come on.
Yes, again, one more time, please, for Tish.
Yes, man. Tish.
Thank you, guys.
Right, Solomon, tell us where we can find this so we can hear the audio track.
So the EP Finding Worlds Again, released in 2018, is available on all those platforms where you listen to music, your Spotify, your Apple Music, your Tidal, your Google Play, your Deezer, if you listen on Deezer. You might even be able to find it on LimeWire if you've got access to that. I'm not sure if LimeWire is still active.
Throwback.
Yeah, it's available everywhere. Finding Worlds Again. Solomon
Perfect. Perfect.
And it was made in 2018, yet it's completely like I'm shocked personally how relevant it is right now. You know, it's a timeless thing, man. And when you hear it, you'll understand. Yeah.
Absolutely smashed it as well. Absolutely smashed it. Now we have one more poem to go as well, and it is a long one as well. So I will ask for anyone who's on the open mic, if you do want to log off and watch the rest on YouTube, I have absolutely no problem. But please do stick around if you can, just for us to be able to debrief and have a quick chat at the end. But I will say, I need to say a few things first. First things first, can I please give my thanks to Brent 20 London Borough of Culture Fund for funding tonight's show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brent. Sorry, I swore.
I think
My
they'll
mama
forgive
didn't
us.
raise me right.
After hearing your poem, I think they're going to forgive you. I will say this: they've given us the opportunity to be able to fund our headliners, to fund our hosts, and also to fund the equipment that we have. So anyone who you do see on screen who is a headliner or a host is going to be paid as well. So thank you again for the opportunity to be able to share with the rest of the country. I'd also like to thank all the open micers today who absolutely brought the fire. Could you please give yourselves a round of applause?
Killed it, man. You lot are turtles out here shelling it. You know what I'm saying?
And can I also please again give another massive thank you to Solomon and Tish. Now, Solomon and Tish, I'd like for you to be able to introduce the next poem if you can, please.
Listen, okay, I'm not gonna introduce this, yeah, because I'm not the genius behind this. I'm gonna give it over to Tish.
All right, so it all began with a beat that, okay, so it all began when Leno X, who's a dope artist, headline PW. He did a song about mental health on, I asked him for the beat and like, he just got back to me around the time of the last full moon, which was quite coincidental. And I was like, yes, I got this beat. And I've been wanting to write something about it because I remember the vibe and like, I'm just like, and I was waiting for something real nice to come out of it, but I didn't want to kind of predetermine what that was. So I got the beat, it hit me just as hard as it did before, and the words came out and it became like a dedication piece. And I've done it a couple, I did it like quite forcefully at Troubled Tongues the other day. And, but it's a totally calm vibe, and I just pay a lot of respects and homage to a lot of things in life at the moment, you know? And yeah, so I showed Solomon it, and and he just came. And the rest is history. The rest is history, man. And the rest is history, basically. So it is about 10 minutes. So please, just feel it and just enjoy it, man. Take that journey with us.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Well, I'm gonna have it play us out for the rest of the show as well. But again, a massive thank you to both of you for all that you've done as well. And I will say again, I couldn't wish for a better two headliners, and you have headlined together today as well than you two as well. So thank you once again, and I'm going to mute myself and mute the videos, and we hope to see you again on May the 11th. And thank you for being with us.
Respect, everybody. Bless.
Love.
Thank you, Soft Spoken.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
This is mad. Wow. All right.
Okay, let's mute it.
We ain't living for love. We ain't living for long. We ain't living for love now. We ain't living for long. If we ain't living for love, we ain't living for long. If we ain't living for love now, we ain't living for long. This one's for the breath, for my realizations about death, to the subtle messages I left in this game for myself. This one's for all the major sevens, for all the minor nines and flat fives, to every sharp mind that never needed to pack knives, to every ocean of space between the matter that forms our short lives. I dedicate this to the string on which all pearls rest, to the reality of self, supreme, to all the things responsible for me. I dedicate it because I can do it, and I empathize because I can relate to it. To the blessed fools that play the notes and let the chords find them. To the ones that take the wheel and let the love for something drive them. I pay homage to the royalty I've known, to the undiscovered kings and forgotten queens. I see you, I know you, I feel you when there's goodness, and I'll remember you in the dark. This one's for the breath, to the start of the clock and the maintenance of illusion, to the sweetness of our final moments in a body. I pay homage to the crash landings and the calculated arrivals alike, to the choosing of lessons and the ground I walk on when I'm not even here. I give my respects to the waves that hit me and took away everything, to the silver linings I had to create myself, to every being I'm contracted to and those who I'm held accountable. I give thanks to dogma and egoism, without whom I would be swallowed up in what they call God. I thank wars and tragedy because my grief and anger over them only ever decays me further. Now I wish wellness upon those who seek power over others, because we've all been those people in one form or another. I wish peace on all processes, Peace on every single being, bar none, including the ones we don't see. I dedicate this one to time, to the force that we all move through to make real our dreams and visions, to the light beams we ride in good times, and the light that we seek when we're down. I pay homage to the arts that so many a time saved lives, to the arts that taught us to connect with each other and persevere, the arts that are timeless yet we see manifest in us right now. I give respect to my ancestors, to those who live in me and always see through the eyes of my heart. I carry the weight of my lineage on strong shoulders, and I pay homage to the strength in our timeless wisdom, to the transformation that love will always bring regardless of what you are. Finally, I dedicate this to love, who will state with compassion, you will never fuck with me and I will love you just the same. Reflect me in all things, so that the world and I may know each other through you. Live for me, exist with me, forever.
It's time to elevate. Let's get it straight.
We ain't living for long.
It's time to elevate.
We ain't living for long.
Let's get it straight. Yeah, of course I've got to give thanks and pay homage for the music which has helped me innovate. The melodies and drum patterns setting me straight. Words flow through, setting me free, touching my soul, creating a harmony within so sweet. I could put this vibe on repeat, leave it to loop, come back, sample it and tune into truth. Let's break it down. T-R-U-T-H. The reality you truly have is greater than we together with our marvelous minds could ever imagine. Imagine this. The rotation of this record in tune with the planets is magic, miraculous divinity, proving that this life is bigger than you and me. Consistently breaking borders, drawing closer to the truth as we seek love in all that we do. If you ain't living for love, I ask, how are you gonna make it through? Falling by the wayside can get oh so tragic. If you got no bounce back built within, take time to observe the world around you and rise up king, rise up queen. This is our time to shine, we still got work to do. This is soul food, and I can't get just with my desserts if I don't desert any false exterior blocking my inner shine. I gotta pay respect to the hip hop consciousness which gave me mine. It's deeper than drummers. A culture, precious since the start. This hip-hop pumps my heart. Higher internal power helping our people through a time of pain and misery. This lifeblood is giving me a restart, giving us a restart. More than a track, a book, a show, clothing or any merchandise you can put your hands on. It flows more so in the words that we speak. Feel the passion, inhale it deep, exhale and find yourself complete. This one goes out to my city dwellers, making intelligent movements during bleak times. Wherever we roam, home is within. It's deeper than skin, deeper than roots. This one goes out to my young giants, don't sleep on the youth. Tuning the world to a different key through innovation and action. This one goes out to MCs, singers, lyricists and poets, paving paths, pointing out phosphorus when political power prosecutes public protection. This one goes out to my movers, my shakers, my social norm breakers to elevate physical awareness, transporting us through space, guiding us to move forwards, backwards and sideways through this rhythm of life, opening our eyes to see beauty through moments of strife. This one goes out to my DJs, blending worlds together, using infinite flow, 2 records and a mixer to show us that we're closer than we know. Check how dancers, musicians and MCs are drawn to where you let the energy go. We give thanks, and ultimately we give thanks to the knowledge that makes this all worthwhile, the principles that keep our minds sharp, our focus on point and our expression of the highest sort. On this journey, remember together we will rise. Out of darkness comes light, and when we shine bright, we can put the world on pause. I ask this light of mine to reflect my true essence in all things, so that the world and I may know each other. For you, I let this live through me, so we can exist forever.
You guys, that was so cute.
That was
the
so
cutest
cute.
end
Oh my
ever.
days.
You guys. Oh.
That's exactly how I intended it to happen, and oh my god.
That was beautiful, man.
Yeah, some vibes, man. Vibes.
Man, you guys should get married. So cute.
Oh man.
Do you know what, Brent 2020, if you can get Brent Civic Centre ready for us as well, I'm sure that we can get them married as soon as we can, as soon as we get out of the lockdown. In all seriousness, though,
Yeah,
the
album's coming,
There's
man.
gonna be an album dropping.
Oh,
Not an EP, an album.
an album.
Coming. It's
Yeah.
coming. It's coming. Has to come.
Oh my God! Right, so I couldn't have wished for a better way to end this as well. But I'm going to end the stream in a second, though. But again, thank you one more time to Brent, 2020 London Borough of Culture.
Brent.
Thank you to everyone on the open mic. Thank you to Solomon. Thank you to Tish. Open micers and everyone on the thing. Can you please stay on the recording? But for everyone else, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for watching us on YouTube and Facebook, and we'll see you in 3 weeks' time on the 11th of May with the one, the only Akor Opalawa.
All right.
Bye, audience.
Much love.
Bye.